Hi, I'm Chase. Today I'm going to be telling you about our little Powerlight 83C Epson projector. Now here today I'm going to tell you about the projector itself, the name, what it does, the ports on the back, you got the control panel, how to change the display settings, the resolution, how to keystone it, and that's about it. Start out with the control panel right about there. That's where you'll have your power button where you can do your source search, which with your source search it'll automatically go through all the connectors on the back and try to find a port that is currently being used. If you have multiple, it'll go through one by one if you keep clicking the button, so that way you can change which source you want to use. If you don't have multiple, it will automatically choose the one that is being used in the back. You have your power button, you have your menu, and you have your buttons that control the menu for you to adjust the brightness, keystoning, and all the other display menu parts. Here you have the focus ring and the zoom ring. What that does here is that changes how you focus the projector and how far it goes zoomed in and zoomed out. As you can see here, the projector is not focused. With a little bit touch to the zoom with the focus ring, you can read it again. Now, let me fix that just a little bit more. Alright, we're good. Okay. Here on the bottom, you'll see here where this is your front adjustable foot. See here we have the screen is a little bit higher than the projector is. With that front adjustable foot, you can raise the tilt that that's at, so that way you can project either higher or lower. Alright? This AV mute slide, that right here is basically what closes the projector screen without turning off the system completely.
Where's the toner at?
Alright. And then now, what you have here is you have your remote control sensor. That is basically, if you have a remote, which I do not currently, I could be sitting here pressing buttons and it would do all of the work for me. We're going to go down here a little bit to the back panel. This is where you're going to find all your video components and basically plugins like your power source, your simple computer 1 and 2 ports, which is your DVI. We have our video port and the S video port right there. With the video port, if you want audio, you're going to have to plug these two in right here on the back. You have a straight speaker on this beautiful Epson projector. I recommend you buy one, even though that's not my job here. Right here, there's a LAN port, which I cannot completely fill you in on how that works for an Epson projector right now, but we'll get to that later. You have a monitor out port. Like I said, we'll get to that one later too. And let's go here to
that whole thing.
the bottom of the projector. Now there's not much here. You have a simple air filter so that way your projector does not overheat. You have a hole for a ceiling mount, which we will get to shortly, because there's 4 different types of mounts. You can have a ground mount, where it's a simple front screen ground. You can have a back screen mount, where you can project things through the picture and on the other side. See how this is projected here? If it was a back screen mount, it would be projecting on the other side, which we'll show you later. And there's ceiling mounts, which you would have to flip the display settings upside down, which there's all of that. We'll talk about that later. And lastly, you have your holes for your ceiling mounts, and you have a security lock, which is kind of like a laptop security thing. Not security thing, but you get my gist in that. Basically, it's like a lock so you don't have people coming in and stealing your projectors. We're going to go back on what I was talking about earlier with installation. So you have 4 different types of installations. You have front installation, front ceiling installation, where it would be on the ceiling and flipped over. You have rear installation and rear ceiling installation. Now right here what we have going is a front installation. It's a simple installation. Power on the projector, make sure it's on a flat surface, and you can just project it on any white screen basically. Now with the rear installation, your projector would be sitting the exactly same as it like this, but you would want a translucent screen, so that way your projector would not just come up here, it would then go through the screen, and you would be able to visualize it standing on the other side, looking this way. Now when you have a ceiling projection, ceiling installation projection, like we have right over here, you see that it is a flipped over. When I showed you the hole mounts on the bottom, You install it on the ceiling, and you put the ceiling installation projection on it, on the settings mode, and therefore it would flip over the picture, and you would be able to see it not upside down. Now, basically same as the rear projection as a normal sitting down flatly, when you have it on the ceiling rear projection, it basically flips over the image and lets you see it through a translucent screen on the other side. Basically what I'm going to be going over here now is how you go through the menu, how you adjust your settings, adjust maybe your resolution, if you wish to have it widescreen, your keystoning, and those things. First, on the control panel, you'll find a simple button that says Menu. You'll be able to control everything throughout the menu with this center button that clicks Enter to click on the things, and your 4 buttons here to select and go throughout things. First, we have Image. This is where you go through your brightness, contrast, sharpness, and the color mode you wish to choose. Usually you do not need to change these settings, but if you wish to upgrade the brightness, change those type of things, you can come here, click on it, and you can change it, and that's a simple fix. Now we're going to go back here and return and go down to Signal. Now there's not much you can really do here that's very helpful to you as a person who's just setting up a simple projector. Now if you wish to go deeper into this, that's more of like a technical support if you're setting up something that is a very big deal. But the simple aspect of it is you can come here to Aspect, turn it to 16:9, which is widescreen, or your normal, and that really doesn't need to be changed at all. It matters more upon what kind of screen you're using and how you wish to visualize things. Now we're going to return here, and we're going to go to the basic settings. Now this is where you're going to find your keystoning. Keystoning is when you have a screen that, not here, this is just basically our screen that's a little bit off-centered. But when you have a completely centered screen, and as you know what you're displaying is not centered right, you can go to your keystoning. Say you have a trapezoidal type figure because your projection is going kind of tilted, right? You go to your keystone, and I'll show you how to change it, but I'll be changing it to a rather non-useful keystoning because it'll look bad. I have auto keystone on right now, so that way it automatically changes it when I move it to a different screen. But keystoning, as you can see, raises or lowers and kind of brings out, so that way you don't have such a trapezoidal type figure. You can see I messed it up, doesn't look right, but if I return, 28's the normal. Now operation lock, that has to deal with, locking your operation. Okay. You have your volume on here. When I went over it earlier, you have a speaker on the back of this projector. It's better to usually hook up speakers on the projector as it's not a very good speaker using a presentation or whatnot. But if you're at home playing some video games, CSGO or whatnot, you can hook up your projector, use the bad speaker on the bottom, and you can change your volume right on here. Now here is what we had talking about earlier with the internet port. Like I said, we're going to go over that later, but that's not much to work on. Network, that's with the internet port. Here is basically giving you some data about your input signal, your resolution, kind of telling you, hey, this is what's being set. And this is how you basically reset all of this. Now, when you get a new lamp, it's good to keep track of the hours because lamps can burn out. It kind of tells you how many hours you have left in your lamp and how to be prepared to change it. You can reset your lamp hours after getting a new lamp bulb in there, so that way you know, hey, I have a new bulb and it's not going to die out within 20 hours. Or you can reset your configurations, which will reset the brightness, everything you changed in your image, signal, and settings. And that's about it for the menu. Alright, here on the screen what we're going to do next is show you the front, rear, ceiling front, and the front rear mounts here. Now I go down to menu, which I showed you earlier, click on extended. Alright, and you're going to go to projection. That's how it's projected, projection, projected. That's what you're going to do, okay? Now here we got the front, right? If you want to change it to front ceiling, say you're going to install in the ceiling, look how it's upside down. Crazy, right? You're never gonna read that. Who wants to do a presentation where it's upside down? That's ridiculous, redonkulous. You're never gonna do that. But here, simple solution, trust me. Take your hands. Now you're not gonna want to do some presentation. You're gonna look like a fool. Trust me, I know that. I do that often. You're gonna flip her upside down. Can you read it? Yeah, if you're illiterate, you could read it. Okay? We're gonna change this back upside down here. Which, in that process, I messed it up. Sorry about that. But we're gonna go back here to extended, projection. We're gonna go back to front, so that way we can read it. You know, we don't seem stupid. What I talked about earlier with the translucent screen. Yes, translucent, see through it, it's literacy. All right. What we're gonna do here is, as you can see, I have a screen. You can't completely see through it, but wait until you see this. All right, come on over here. We're gonna go to rear, okay? Because I told you about that rear thing. You read it on there, you're like, look at this. That looks like Chinese or something. I would have never learned Chinese, but that's what I would assume Chinese looks like. You go back earlier when I told you about the view and how to, look at that. This is what you do when you're at a movie theater and you're trying to kiss the girl. You show her this, trust me, she wants you instantly. Nobody knows how to do this very often, but this is what rear is. Now you go back to it, you go down one more, just one more. Rear ceiling. It's upside down, but it's in the rear. You can still see through it, but it's upside down. You flip her on over one more time.
Can I get your hand to ride?